Well, hi everybody, I'm Ruechel, and thank you for joining us here on the PCS Journal. Dr. Michael Grego joins us right now. Michael, it's Dr. Grego. I not to throw the first name in there. Okay, good to see you.
Great to see you too, Al.
Okay, we always try to do news items, things that people have been talking about, and then we'll get into some of the other things. So tell me a little bit about the AMI school. This is apparently a situation where one of the instructors kind of manhandled a student. Does that have any affiliation with Pinellas County Schools?
Sure. We and other districts contract with AMI. AMI Kids is a school really run by Department of Juvenile Justice, DJJ. And so we contract with them, other districts do too, and we had about 36 to 40 students there, depending on the time period. And it's a voluntary program. Sometimes when students are out of control and they need really a lot of individualized attention, behavior management attention, the parents opt to enroll their students in AMI Kids. And so we had a few students, 36 students over there, and when we terminated their contract last week, I just want to say thank you to our alternative educational programs. We placed those students, we called each and every parent, place those students either back in their home school or in Pinellas Secondary or Distant Academy or some of our alternative settings. So, and then we'll wait to see, but at this point we no longer have a contract with AMI Kids.
Student discipline is really a tough nut. I mean, because you have to be firm, but you obviously cannot be physical at all, period. But kids, especially high school kids, even junior high kids, they can push you right to your limit. What kind of training do our teachers have so that they know how to defuse a situation like that?
Well, the AMI, first of all, back there, that's just to be clear, that was a middle school grade. But you're right, and no matter what the grade level, we work with the University of South Florida, what's called the PBIS, or Positive Behavior Management System. And that is that, yes, we have to provide consequences, but we also see that rewarding positive behavior is very, very effective. And then we have a tiered level of support that we provide training to teachers and administrators also. In other words, what are those strategies that's working for you and I? And then perhaps in other students they're not working for, where can we go to a tier 2 type of strategy, tier 3 strategy? And we keep building on those. In some cases we have to bring in a social worker or school psychologist if it's a really high level and the need is high. But our teachers, our administrators, our support staff all receive training in behavior management.
Well, it's good to know that the school acted very, very quickly, because it's obviously a very, very disturbing story. All right, so you decide to have an alumni meeting where you want to bring a few friends, and then you never know how many are going to show up. Tell me about what happened at Clearwater High School.
It was unbelievable. I mean, because I talked to Mr. Masterides that evening in the morning. He said, I think we got about 800 to 900 RSVPs, but they're coming in regularly, you know, people at the last minute. We had over 2,200 people come to that all call for all alumni dating back to 1955, I think was the first graduate. All the way up to the graduates of last year and the present students. And it was such to me it was great for the present students to see all of the alumni in the audience. And they stood up and cheered by 5-year increments. And who could be louder than who? From 1955 to 60, 61. And it was a tremendous celebration. They're so excited. We will be doing a complete renovation, long overdue, for Clearwater High School, about $55 million. We want it to look, and it will look, a state-of-the-art school, very similar to the renovation we did at Largo High School. And so the alumni came out, and boy, did they ever come out. And the band was playing, and what a wonderful sign of a community coming together, centered around what I and you know is the hub of a community, the schools. So.
Yeah, and I know a lot of Clearwater alum, and they really do have an affinity and a love for that school. So there is a regular plan where we don't have any high schools that go untouched, but that keep them up to date, in some cases start all over, which are doing with Clearwater. Where are we in that cycle?
It's called a 5-year capital plan, and we provide it to the state each and every year. We update it. But one of the things we did with our board, and when I came in as a superintendent, we saw the aging infrastructure in Pinellas County. And we said, we want to establish the next 5-year plan in a very aggressive way, and we don't want to just do a slight renovation. We want to do an overhaul in schools that truly need it. The result of that is Pinellas Park Middle School, a complete and brand new school, Melrose Elementary School, a complete and brand new school. The renovation that's taken place in St. Petersburg High School is going to be beautiful. The renovation of the Leadership Conservatory and many of the commons area of Tarpon Springs. We went from the furthest school to the north, to the south, east and west. And in the next 5 years, we're about 2.5 years into this capital plan, Al, and the next 2.5 years, we're going to pretty much finish a lot of the major projects. But you know as well as I do, construction never stops.
Oh, no.
Updates
Right.
never end. So, but we're going to be very proud that we're going to have this school district in kind of a really state-of-the-art affair.
Well, and there's another side of this thing. These old buildings, I've been to some of these buildings and I kind of look, there's this huge crack. Is that a door? Oh, no, that's just a crack in one of the windows. So,
but people don't also understand old buildings cost more to maintain.
Absolutely.
They cost more to air conditioning, they cost more to fix, the plumbing, the pipes, everything's decaying in that. And you look at a building from the outside, but if you don't live in it every day, you don't feel the pain sometimes when things go down.
Now,
so.
Also, this would upgrade them to the new hurricane standards as well, correct?
Yes, it will. It will, yes.
And since a lot of the schools are being used as hurricane shelters.
They are. For example, when we completely rebuilt Largo High School, and we certainly use that as a shelter with over 3,500 people in the community coming into that shelter.
That's great. Speaking of building and construction, Tyrone Middle School is going to go through a renovation project, about $28 million worth.
That's our other major project that we're moving forward. Tyrone is an older school, again, right around that same period, 1954. We had an elementary school on that campus along with a middle school. We want that school, it's a magnet school for innovation and digital technology. We want that school to be one campus, we want it to have a street presence, and we want it to be something that's the community and the people and the students are extremely proud of. So that's our other major project moving forward. Yeah.
So let's talk about some of the good things that are going on. Let's start with Pinellas County Schools partners with Sunken Gardens Children's Book Project. Talk to me about that.
Well, I actually have the book right here. And,
how
if you'd
cool.
Like to, but Sunken Gardens, along with the foundation, funded a book for every third grade student in a Title I school and a trip to Sunken Gardens. And I was there yesterday with Mayor Kreisman, and
neat.
we brought third graders from Bear Creek Elementary School. They took a tour of Sunken Gardens. What a hidden gem. That's outdoor,
that's a beautiful
outdoor
place.
Classroom. And then Robin Gonzalez wrote this book, and others illustrated it, and every student then will go through Sunken Gardens, read this book, and have a great field trip experience. Every third grader in a Title I school.
Fun flamingo facts.
So we thank our partners at Sunken Gardens. They're terrific.
All right, let's talk about something else. Boca Ciega High School earning the Female Diversity Award. Tell me about that.
Well, the College Board out of New York, they're the AP people, providers of advanced placement, SAT, all of that. They started to say, how do we get more females into computer science classes? A lot of guys across the country take it. And so they introduced this recognition program recognizing diversity. And Boca Ciega has such an increased number of students not only taking AP computer science, but also doubling or tripling the number of females sitting in computer science. And,
that's great.
And they could see all of the enrollment because every student takes an AP computer science or AP exam at the end of the course, so they see who's in those courses. They look at the trends across this nation, and one of the things Pinellas County is being recognized for is two things. One is the increased enrollment in college level classes during high school, and then we're recognized by a lot of underrepresented population. Our Latino students, our African American students, and our non-traditional, a lot of our female students in what would be classified or used to be classified as more traditionally male courses. So females are enrolled in it, not only in Boca Ciega, but I want to say in each and every one of our high schools.
Yeah, that's great. Let's see. Avid students in Pinellas County outperform peers nationally in completion of advanced placement exams.
So this is another organization that's connected very closely to the College Board. AVID is Advancement via Individual Determination. It's a program that we implemented in all of our high schools, all of our middle schools, and we have about 27 elementary schools actually, and it's for not only first-time, first-generation college-bound students, but I see all students in there, and it's a gathering or a grouping of students who have high aspirations to go to some level of post-secondary, specifically four-year universities or colleges. And what they're seeing and what they take a look at is in AVID, how many students take AP classes.
Mm-hmm.
We not only encourage it, but you see 95% of
Wow.
our seniors who participate in AVID take at least one AP class. And the national average, because AVID is a national initiative, is 39%.
Wow.
So that's why we're
That's
being
great.
recognized for that. We want students. They're capable of doing that. We also build in the supports, though, Al, in terms of sitting in an AP class. If you really needed that extra help, we build in those supports for students.
That's really important. Congratulations and shout out to Vicki Tarantino. She was Spectrum Bay News 9 Teacher of the Year. Oh my gosh! And of course that was my gig at Bay
You
News
know
9.
that one. You could talk about that.
And I know Vicki. I mean, it was amazing. Simply, I'll summarize very quickly. Vicki Tarantino had a little girl that was the sweetest looking thing that you'd ever seen, who had real problems attending school and stuff. She had self-esteem problems, that kind of stuff. And one day, she just decided to get up and walk out of class. Well, when Miss Tarantino found out that she was gone and she was looking around, she asked the kids what happened. She says, well, she was mad and she just ran home. So she got the principal to take over this class, and she went out looking for this little Hagedon, was her last name, Balin Hagedon, and brought her back to the class. So I asked little Balin, I said, why are you nominating your Vicki Tarantino? And she says, because she saved my life.
Aw.
Yeah, and when I read the letter to Vicki, well, we both cried. Of course, I cried easily, because about how much she appreciated that, because she said to me, no matter where you are, I will always come running after you. And I thought if I had one phrase that described every teacher that I've ever met, with especially those in the Bay News 9 project, they all would do the same thing. They would all come running after you. And the second thing is that they set the bar high. And she said, if you set the bar high, the kids will move up and they will accomplish the things you want. So that's a kind of a shout out to all the teachers out there.
Well, that was a great program, Al, and you're to be credited for, not only designing it, coming up with it, but also doing the work with it.
Yeah, well,
what a great celebration.
It was wonderful.
Of the
All
teaching
right, Lakewood got a visitor at elementary school, Secretary Brogan and Commissioner Richard Corcoran.
Yes, it was. I'll consider this an honor because Assistant Secretary Frank Brogan, who, as you know, used to be the commissioner here in Florida, and now is the Assistant Secretary in the U.S. DOE. He was taking a tour of Florida, and he said to Commissioner Corcoran, let's go visit some schools that you're really proud of, that maybe in some areas that they have a heavy lift, but they're getting things done. They're being innovative, and Mr. Corcoran, they went out of their way, actually, because they had a path, but to go to Lakewood was not in that path. And they took the time, and they spent a few hours.
And Lakewood has had its challenges. I mean,
yes.
We all know that.
But I could tell you they were extremely impressed. That's the second visit our commissioner came and went to Lakewood Elementary School and talked to teachers, talked to some parents, talked to students, and visited classrooms, visited teachers working in preparation, and I think we left the Assistant Secretary in good hands in terms of what's happening in Pinellas County.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Because there are so many good things happening. We're out of time again. Are you kidding? We had 2 or 3 pages more to go. But that means you have to stay tuned next time we're on the air so we can tell you more good things that are happening in the Pinellas County schools. And there are lots of good things to talk about. We're back with more right after this.